Ladies, let me tell you something right now. A man can lie with a straight face. He can tell you he loves you while texting another woman. But there's one question, just one, that can crack him wide open. And it ain't complicated. You ready? Ask him this. If I had access to your phone right now, would you be nervous? You want to know the truth about a man? Don't listen to what he says. Watch how he reacts. I'm telling you, reaction is everything. You can ask a man a simple question like, if I had your phone in my hand right now, would I find something that would hurt me? And that man's face will tell you more than any answer ever could. He might laugh it off, try to change the subject, get defensive, or act like you're crazy for even asking. But listen to me. All of that's reaction. And in that reaction is where the truth lives. See, ladies, let me explain something to you. Men are creatures of habit and instinct. When a man is hiding something, he don't think it through when he's caught off guard. His reaction isn't pre-planned. It's raw. It's the realest version of himself. And if that reaction involves stuttering, sudden mood swings, or flipping the blame back on you, baby girl, you just saw his truth flash in front of your eyes. I've seen it too many times. A woman walks up to her man, heart in her throat, and she just wants honesty. She ain't even mad. She just wants to know. She says, let me see your phone, and suddenly he's acting like she asked for his blood type, social security number, and childhood trauma all in one. Now he's talking about how you don't trust me, or this is toxic, or why you always got to go through my stuff. Oh, well, you sweating. Let me break it down further. A man who ain't doing dirt, he ain't got no problem handing over that phone. You might find a bunch of sports apps, a half-written text to his mama, or a meme he forgot to send. That's it. Because when a man is clean, there's no fear and transparency. He doesn't live in worry. He's not walking around scared his phone's going to buzz in front of the wrong person at the wrong time. But a man who's cheating, that phone is a landmine. It's got texts, DMs, pictures, hey stranger messages, and secrets he hopes to never see daylight. That's why the very idea of you seeing it, even just holding it, puts him on edge. Ever notice how protective a man gets over his phone when he's doing something shady? That thing might as well be Fort Knox. It's always face down, on silent, and never leaves his pocket. And if you even reach for it, just to check the time, he's jumping like you pulled a gun. You got to pay attention to those signs. That's not just insecurity, that's guilt. That's fear. That's a man trying to control the situation because he knows if you see what's on that phone, the game is up. And here's the kicker. He'll make you feel like you did something wrong for even asking. That's called deflection. That's manipulation. That's him trying to protect his lie while making you question your sanity. Now, I know what some people will say. Everybody deserves privacy. And yes, that's true. But there's a difference between privacy and secrecy. Privacy is having a space to be yourself. Secrecy is intentionally hiding something you know would hurt the person you claim to love. If a man can't be open with the woman he's committed to, that's not privacy. That's deception. And no amount of romantic words, expensive gifts, or late-night apologies can cover that up. Let me tell you something real. A man's honesty is not just in what he says. It's in how he moves when no one's watching, and especially when he's questioned. That reaction, that moment of truth, is what separates a faithful man from a fraudulent one. Because a real man doesn't need to hide. A real man walks in integrity. And when you ask him something straight up, he doesn't flinch because he's got nothing to flinch about. So if you're in a relationship and you got that little gut feeling, that little nudge in your spirit that something ain't right, Don't ignore it. Ask the question. And when you do, watch carefully. Don't even focus on the words. Just look at how he reacts. That will tell you everything. That moment, that one reaction could save you years of confusion, heartbreak, and self-doubt. And I know it's hard. I know you want to believe the best in him. I know you've invested time, energy, love, maybe even years. But don't let loyalty become slavery. Don't stay in something that's draining your peace just because you're scared to start over. Ask the question. Watch the reaction. And if he can't give you honesty in the little things, he won't give it to you when it matters most. You deserve the truth. And sometimes the way to get it is simpler than you think. Just one question. One well-placed question, and the truth will introduce itself. Let his reaction speak. When a man is solid, when he's got nothing to hide, giving you access to his phone ain't no big deal. It's just a phone. That's all it is. But when a man is out there doing wrong, that phone becomes a fortress. He guards that thing like it's the keys to his kingdom. Like if you even get a glimpse, the whole empire gone fall. You want to know where a man's loyalty is? You don't need a private investigator. You don't need to go through his drawers or follow him around town. You don't need to turn into Sherlock Holmes. Just look at how he treats his phone around you. That little device holds the truth. And if he's scared to let you near it, then baby, you don't need to ask no more questions. You already got your answer. Now here's the thing. Phones today are like diaries. They're not just for calls and texts anymore. They hold everything. Messages, social media pictures, deleted apps, hidden folders. So if a man's living right, his phone reflects that. If he's not, that phone tells on him. It tells who he's talking to. It tells when he's lying. It tells where he's been and who he's been with. That's why a cheating man will protect that phone like his life depends on it. Because, in a way, it does. I've seen brothers lose their minds just because their woman picked up the phone to check the weather. Suddenly, he all up in her face. What you doing? Why are you touching my stuff? Now, hold up. Ain't it the same man that says he loves you? The same man who said you're his queen, his partner, his everything? But you can't even check the weather on his phone without getting interrogated? Make it make sense. You see, real men, grown men, they understand that when you're in a committed relationship, transparency comes with the territory. It ain't about control. It's about accountability. It's about making your woman feel safe. If she feels anxious every time your phone lights up, that's not love. That's tension. That's emotional stress. And that ain't how love is supposed to feel. Let's get something straight. A faithful man has no problem with accountability. He don't flinch when you walk by while he's texting. He don't tilt his screen away from you when he's scrolling. He ain't scared to leave his phone on the table face up, ringer on, right in front of you. He don't have do not disturb on at 8 p.m. talking about, I just don't like notifications. Nah, bruh, we know what that's about. But when a man is cheating, suddenly every little thing becomes suspicious. His phone's always in his pocket, even in the house. He takes it with him to the bathroom, to the kitchen, to take out the trash. Lord help us, the man might sleep with it under his pillow. Why? Because he knows one message at the wrong time, one name on the screen, one innocent notification from the wrong woman, and the whole game is blown. Let's be real here. Access is trust. It's not that you got to go through his phone every day. It's not about checking up on him like he's a child, but it's about knowing that if you needed to, you could. That there's no panic, no secrecy, no scrambling to delete apps or hide messages. That's the kind of security every woman deserves. And I know some brothers out there will say, well, I need my space. I need my privacy. And that's fair. Everybody deserves personal space. But here's the line. Your personal space should never be a place to hide lies. If the things in your private world can break your partner's heart, then you ain't being private, you being sneaky. If a man values his relationship, he'll make sure there's nothing on that phone that could ever disrespect or dishonor his woman. Because let's be honest, cheating don't start in the bedroom. It starts with a conversation. A little message here, a little hey stranger there, a DM late at night. That's how it starts. And if a man doesn't draw the line, that line disappears. That's why access is so important. Not because you don't trust him, but because he respects you enough not to give you a reason not to. Ladies, don't let no man convince you that asking for honesty means you're insecure. You have every right to want clarity, peace, and respect. And brothers, if you're really about this relationship life, stop treating your phone like it's a vault of secrets. A relationship can't grow where there's suspicion. And trust don't come from words alone. It comes from actions, from openness, from knowing that if your woman asked to see your phone, you wouldn't even flinch. That phone might just be a device, but the way a man handles it around his woman, that tells a whole story. Love is not what a man says, it's what he does. You hear me? Anybody can talk a good game. Anybody can say, I love you, I miss you, you're the only one for me. That don't cost him a dime. Words are cheap. They always have been. And some of these men, oh, they poets, smooth with it. They know exactly what to say to keep you wrapped around their finger. But what you got to understand is this. Loyalty is not in the lines he rehearses. It's in the life he lives when nobody's watching. See, a cheating man can text, good morning, beautiful to you while lying next to somebody else. He can take you out to dinner, kiss you on the forehead, and still be setting up a late night meetup with another woman. That's how low the bar has gotten for words. We've allowed I love you to be the whole standard when it should just be the starting point. Let me tell you what loyalty really looks like. Loyalty shows up in the little things, not the flashy ones. It's how he talks about you when you're not around. It's how he behaves when temptation walks right past him. It's when his phone rings and he doesn't panic. When he introduces you proudly, not hide you like a secret. Loyalty is when his actions match his words, not just when you're watching, but especially when you're not. Some women are stuck in situations where a man says all the right things, but nothing changes. He cheats, he apologizes, he promises it won't happen again, and then he does it again. That ain't loyalty. That's manipulation with a romantic twist. That's him using words to buy time while he figures out how to keep doing wrong and make you stay. I know it hurts to admit it, but sometimes the man you love is just playing a role. He says what you need to hear because he knows you still believe him. He's memorized your emotional switches. He knows when to turn on the charm, when to show affection, when to drop tears, all just to keep you from walking away. But what's he doing behind your back? What's he doing when you're not checking in? That's what tells the real story. A real man doesn't say, I'm loyal. He proves it in how he moves. You don't have to ask a real man not to cheat. You don't have to babysit him, track him, or worry every time he goes out with the boys. You feel peace. You feel security. You feel like you can breathe because he makes you feel safe with his consistency, not just his conversation. Now let's talk about inconsistency for a second, because that's the red flag too many women ignore. If he's hot one day and cold the next, if he loves you loudly in private but quietly in public, if he talks about your future but disappears in your present, sis, that's not loyalty. That's confusion dressed up as love. And let me tell you, real love don't leave you feeling confused every night. When a man is loyal, you don't have to keep asking him the same questions. You don't have to go digging for answers. You don't have to scroll through his socials like a detective just to feel stable. You don't have to beg for reassurance because his actions are the reassurance. He doesn't leave room for doubt. And don't let him throw that "you're just insecure" card at you. That's what guilty men do. They flip the script so you start questioning yourself instead of questioning their behavior. You ever notice how when you ask a cheating man a real question, suddenly you're the problem? You're too emotional. You're overthinking. Now you're paying attention. And your spirit is trying to warn you. I know you want to believe in him. I know you've got history, memories, maybe even kids. I know you're tired of starting over. But I'm telling you, don't stay loyal to a man who's only loyal with his lips. Don't waste years hoping he turns his sweet words into faithful actions. If he wanted to be a good man to you, he would have done it by now, period. Hey, brothers, if you're listening, stop thinking that loyalty is about how much you can say you love her. It's not about how loud you can shout it or how many promises you can make. It's about showing up with integrity day after day. It's about making sure your woman never has to question where she stands with you. It's about discipline, because loyalty is a decision, not an emotion. You don't just feel loyal, you choose it even when it's hard. So at the end of the day, remember this. Talk is easy. Consistency is hard. But it's consistency that proves love, not sweet lines in a moment of guilt. You want to know if a man is loyal? Stop listening to what he says. Start watching what he does. Let me tell you something that's going to hit home for a lot of people. If you constantly have to question your man, it's time to stop questioning him and start questioning the relationship itself. Because real love doesn't feel like suspicion. It doesn't feel like anxiety. It doesn't feel like you're constantly walking on eggshells trying to figure out if you're telling the truth or just telling you what you want to hear. That ain't love. That's emotional exhaustion. Too many women are out here trying to play detective when they should be living in peace. You're checking his phone, reading between the lines in his text, memorizing his daily routines like it's your full-time job. You shouldn't have to live like that. You weren't made to be a parole officer in your own relationship. That's not your role. That's not love. That's survival mode. And that's no way to build a future. Let's call it what it is. If you constantly feel the need to prove he's doing wrong, there's already something broken. Because a healthy relationship don't make you feel like you're losing your mind. It don't make you second guess your instincts every time he's 15 minutes late or his story don't add up. It don't make you feel like you're the crazy one for simply asking for honesty. And don't get it twisted. It's not about being insecure. People love throwing that word around, especially men who are guilty. You're just insecure, they say. No, you're not. You're just not blind. You're paying attention to what your soul is trying to tell you. Women have intuition for a reason. God gave you that inner voice, that gut feeling, that sense that something ain't right. And you keep trying to silence it because you're scared of what it might confirm. But let me ask you something. How long are you going to silence your own peace just to keep a man in your life who makes you feel unsure? How long are you going to sacrifice your sanity just to keep calling something love that don't love you back the way you deserve? I know starting over is scary. I know being alone feels heavy. But you know what's heavier? Carrying a relationship by yourself, trying to fix a man who's already made up his mind to keep lying. You got to stop.